Bob.
And Josh.
And I like to make stuff, and today we're gonna finish these guitars
And rock out.
If you haven't, you should definitely go back and watch the first part of this build-off between Josh and I, because we are both making different types of guitars. He's making a bass, I'm making a semi-hollow body out of rough sawn cherry. So go back and watch that so you can get caught up, but I'm gonna jump right into cutting the neck pocket on my body.
So this is the electronics cup that I made based off of the pocket that I modeled. And I went ahead and soldered in all the electronics. I know that they work. I have a volume, I have a blend between the two pickups, bass, mids, and highs with the preamp. And then I drilled the holes, and I'm going to slide this down in there so that everything is all nice and compact. The electronics compartment is all done, but I still had to connect wires from other parts of the base. So the neck pickup, the bridge pickup, and the bridge itself all have wires running into this cavity. So I had to drill holes strategically placed from there into here. So I can take the wires from the pickups, run them through there, and then a separate wire that I'll drill down to ground the bridge.
I got this other hole cut in here. I realized that there's going to be a switch that's going to go right here, and so I need to have access to be able to get to the back of the switch to install it and fix it if I ever need to. So I think with that, I'm ready to actually glue the front and the back together. I need to do some more sanding on these two surfaces so that they mate really well, because I want them to contact as much as possible, and then I'm going to add tons and tons of glue and probably some of the sawdust from the same cherry around that outside edge to try to hide the seam. So the other big thing that I need to do, which I don't have to do yet, but I'm ready to take off this cross. These are my indexing keys that I used for all the jigs, and I think I'm done with them now. And I need to be able to cut the other pockets here for the pickups and all that stuff. So I've marked the center line that will run all the way up through the middle of the neck. And most people will just put a center line down on their body and they use that as their reference point. I've been using this key for all the jigs, and now that that can go, I need to draw that center line in place and keep it there and make sure I don't sand it off as I move forward.
I think that's all the drilling that I have to do. Bob has some other stuff that he's drilling right now. Whoop.
I don't know about it.
I don't know where he went either. He was drilling stuff and now he disappeared. Making some fits. I went on a website called StewMac, which we've got a lot of stuff from StewMac so far. And they sell a pre-cut 16-inch radius 24 fret kit for like 20 bucks. So I bought these. So they are larger than they need to be, which is good because you cut them with some flush cutters on the side, and then you sand them and grind them. There's a bunch of fretwork. And I'll talk about that here in a minute.
So here's what we're gonna do. We go behind the sander, we're gonna get all the really fine stuff, and we're gonna cram it in that glue right there. I see that you are filing frets. How's it going?
It's going okay. I'm gonna be here a while. So besides pushing the frets in and then filing them flat, you also have to do a process called fret leveling. because all these have minute dips and valleys, and so it's a process to make a neck.
You can play it without doing that, but it just becomes
well, you're going to get buzzing. So if you try to play a note up here and this fret down here is higher, it's going to and it's going to sound like garbage. But one of the benefits, I guess, of making my own neck is that I can do the headstock how I want. Theoretically, the materials are cheaper. The truss rod was like 20 bucks. The frets were like $20. But you bought a pre-assembled, already done, ready to go neck.
This is a licensed Fender Strat neck. It's not made by Fender, but it's licensed by them to another company. This was $135, rosewood, maple, completely done, ready to go, already leveled, already sanded and everything. It's unfinished, so I still will have to add some finish to it. But 135 bucks to be able to move ahead. Now I do eventually want to make one of these, but you know, spending that money on this allows me to kind of skip over all that work and just get something playable.
Yeah, the base that I made previously came from a kit, so I took the neck and the electronics from that kit. So I started where you are starting. I did the body and the neck. The neck, this is fun, but this is a lot of work. So while this did save money, it is taking way more time, and while this cost more money, it saved you quite a bit of time.
And I think like one of the things that's interesting about going these two different routes, and we've talked about this before, is that you can start on one and pivot to the other. So now that you've got the neck pocket made for yours, you could buy, theoretically, another neck that would fit. Or you could make a second neck that would fit. I intentionally bought one that was known. All of the measurements are really common for a Strat neck, so that when I go to make my own, I can just make this part of it match a Strat neck, and then I can make the headstock however I want.
Which is pretty common. So if you are interested in making your own guitar or your bass and you dig the Fender style headstock, there are tons and tons and tons of replacement necks for basses and for guitars. For the one that I'm making, there weren't very many available. I couldn't find really any available, and the price range, it would cost 3 of these to get a replacement one of these.
Making a 5-string neck is significantly different than something as common as a Strat.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, get back to it while I'm waiting on glue to dry, and we'll check in a little bit. Now that I've got this thing glued together, I've got the 2 pieces sanded so that they match up. But now there's going to be a whole lot of sanding to get the surfaces clean and ready for finish. So, sanding montage. Oh no! I mean, I can take the rest of the neck off and it will be coming out the other end, and I can grab it with pliers and pull it out.
How deep is it already going into the neck?
Pretty far.
If the neck is in a pocket, then you might not be able to get it off.
I at least want to see what it looks like with the neck on it. It's sitting flat, which is good. That one seems twisted too. Wow. Could be cheap screws. This thing was like $6. It's in there. Okay. I can drill into it, but I still am not going to be able to get it out. Why did that snap? So I used a plug cutter to drill out the area around the screw so that I can grab it, hopefully with these. Oh no, might not be quite big enough. Hopefully I can turn it out backwards to get it out of there, and then I can fill this hole with another piece of cherry. Ah, it split the neck too. Oh! I'm gonna put some glue in that, clamp it to see if I can get that to grab, or at least maybe the glue will just hold it. It's gonna be captured and screws going in, so I don't know that it's a huge deal. But luckily, I can swap out the neck if I need to. If only I had a clamp.
You fixed it!
I fixed it. It's totally good. So just gonna glue that in there and should be good to go.
Is that your whammy bar?
All right, so you will see about how much of this. About zero much of it. Zero much. That's gonna be pretty cool. So what I should do is drill that all the way through so that it's a clean through hole. I can glue this in place and then clean it off on both ends. Good to go. Perfect. Look at that.
What is that thing?
Whammy bar. Sand that down. Good to go. Good to go. Now we're at a point where I need to move on, but my replacement set of screws, hopefully higher quality screws, won't be here for a couple of days. I also can't move on to making the holes for any of the pickups or the bridge, because the bridge won't be here for several days, and without the neck in place, you can't really get the correct alignment for all those things. So I think next up, I have some more sanding to do, but also I can start laying out where the electronics are gonna go and then test fitting them from the back. As far as pickups and electronics, I'm gonna be using dual humbuckers. So that's these wide pickups. There's gonna be a neck and a bridge version. So these are gonna represent the different sizes for those and where they go. I'll lay those out in a minute. I got a Les Paul set of electronics. This is everything you need, all of the knobs, all the wiring, all the jack and everything, and instructions how to put it all together. So I can go ahead and solder this up and get it in place, but I did run into a problem with the actual placement of these humbuckers. The neck one needs to go up near the neck, which is why it's called that, but then I didn't realize that this was gonna be an issue when I scooped this out. It needs to have wood there so that this has something to actually attach to. So what I'm gonna have to do, I think, is once I get this placement correct, I'm gonna have to route out the entire area and build a box that drops in so that this isn't just exposed and kind of floating right there. Then this other one will have to go down here, but it can't be placed until the bridge is in place. So I can go ahead and measure that and lay it out, but I can't cut the holes yet.
Okay.
Don't break. Don't break. You just got jammed.
You got jammed.
This video is sponsored by StewMac.com. They've been a huge help in this process of building the guitar and the bass. They've got all the components, all the supplies, all the electronics, everything you need to build your own guitar. If you want to just build out a kit, they've got full kits for guitars, bass, even effects pedals. And you can get started there, or you can buy the individual components like we're doing. I got my tremolo from them, Josh got his truss rod and his pre-cut frets, and the finish that Josh is using is actually finish that I bought from StewMac like 2 years ago to refinish another guitar. StewMac is your one-stop shop. They've got super fast shipping, a lifetime promise on everything you buy, and their website is full of fantastic video instructions and all sorts of information about the specific thing that you want to build. Be sure to go check out StewMac, and thanks to StewMac for sponsoring this video. I think that's the last piece. Now I just have to go string it up, try it out. Here they are, the final guitars. I personally am very, very happy with how this thing came out. There's, of course, stuff that I would do differently if I were to do it again, but I love the way it looks, I love the way it plays, and this is now my go-to guitar. It's the thing I've been picking up every day for the last several days.
And I know that's been real important to you lately about wanting to play music again, so I'm glad that this project kick-started your love again to play music.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
I think it looks fantastic. I am super impressed that you did this entire thing with hand tools, from the templates to the router jigs. Like, it's fantastic.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I really like the offset stripes on yours because that's something I would have done intentionally on an older guitar, but you're not really happy with that?
My perfectionism doesn't really like it because it's an error, but the pickguard really helped break up, so you can't really tell at a first glance that they're off. But I am very impressed that I was able to take an idea through Fusion 360 into the CNC and come out with a bass guitar that works just like a bass. It's pretty fantastic.
So if you want to learn how to use Fusion 360 to make a project like this, we have an online course all about it, so we'll put a link to that down in the description. And we're going to have a video on the second channel where we play these a little bit more and talk about some more specific stuff about them in case that's something you're interested in. Anthony, you have something back there that you're dying to show us.
He's been scheming again.
I couldn't help but participate, so.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
This is so dumb.
So Anthony made an electric cowbell, which I assume.
Push again.
Okay.
So this is so we can perpetually have more cowbell.
Yeah. Well, so we have an electric cowbell to go with our band.
I didn't think we needed one.
We don't need one.
Well,
but we have it. Thank you for watching. We've got tons of other videos that you may want to check out, and we'll see you on the next one.
Push it again.
Hey, I'm Bob Bet. Wait, is that me?
Brother.
I'm surprised it doesn't fart.
And I've got the outer perimeter pretty well sanded. Today we're going to finish these guitars and rock out.